Hi everyone, I'm Rebecca Smartbakken, and this video will be a beginner's guide to email marketing for musicians. So social media is of course a great way to communicate with your fans these days. However, social media is really changing and the amount of visibility that you're getting is declining. The organic visibility, but also the visibility within your followers. So when you post something right now on the platform, even though you have 5,000 followers, only a few hundred of them might see your content. By moving your followers over from your social channels over to your email subscriptions, you're then opening up a direct line of communication with your followers. If they subscribe to your email list, you can communicate with them personally. And email marketing is actually the most effective way to get your fans to make an action, that is, buying from you. And your email subscription list will always belong to you. So with the amount of changes that's happening now with the social media platforms, try moving over your followers over to where you have control over the visibility and the communication and where you have direct access to them. So let's take a closer look at how to use email marketing as a musician. If you like what you see here today, go ahead and give me a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. You will then get weekly videos from me where I teach you about music marketing and the music business. So the first thing you need to do is have a purpose and a goal with email marketing. So this is the same with any channel. Before you start on Instagram, on Twitch, on Reddit, on whatever channel that you use to communicate with your fans, you need to have a purpose. Why are you there? What content will you share? And how often will you share it? So you need to have a purpose and a goal with your email marketing as well. Think of your newsletter as a special members club where your fans have direct access to you and your content. So social media is kind of where your casual fans are hanging out, while your email list is where your hardcore fans reside. These hardcore fans needs to be served with exclusive content to make it worthwhile their time. After all, they've decided to make the effort of moving over from your social media channels over to your email list. So you need to make it worth their time. And if they subscribe to you, they want to hear from you on a regular basis. You then have a proper fan. So with a goal in mind, you then need to establish what is the content that you're going to share through email and how often. I send out 1 to 2 emails per week to my email subscribers, just providing value, educating them, inspiring them, sending them over to a new YouTube video that I made. And every 7th email or so, I then sell them something, because in the meantime, I've just given value. Giving value before you push sales is extremely important online. And it will also keep your fans subscribed. Nobody wants to receive sales emails all the time. They've subscribed to your email list to get value from you. Too many salesy communication is the #1 reason for unsubscribing. So really cherish your email list. Step number 2, sign up to an email marketing service. So there's so many options out there right now. But start simple and start free. And MailChimp is a good example of this. MailChimp is absolutely free up until 2,000 subscribers. And they have easily integrations with websites builders like Squarespace, for example, where these platforms will then seamlessly communicate together. This means that you can easily install these sign-up forms on your website with just a few clicks. There's also many other email service providers out there like ConvertKit, HubSpot, FanBridge, but start simple and start free. You can always export your list from an email marketing service and then import it to somewhere else if you decide to use another service at a later time. The service is not of value, the list is, and the list belongs to you no matter what. Step number 3, create forums. So you've set up your marketing service. Now it's time to get subscribers. The way you do this is to create these entrances. These are called forums. So these are boxes that you can put on your website or your social media or wherever else your traffic is flowing. This is where your visitors will input their email address and become a part of your email list. So the email services have really easy options of creating these forms. When you create these forms, it's usually best to ask for as little as possible. The more things that you ask for in these forms, the less probability it will be for someone to fill it out. So a good way to either ask for just the email or first name and email address. Technically, in the beginning, you don't really need more information than that. Remember, you need to make it easy for the visitor to come into your world. You also need to include the GDPR checkbox and also a checkbox that they wish to receive updates from you. And these email marketing services, they have these options in already, where you can also edit the language and make it your own. You can also play around with the templates when you create these forms so they match your branding as well. So when you put these forms on your website, you can also start experimenting around this. You can put a pop-up form that appears maybe after they've been on your site for more than 10 seconds. Or if they scroll down a certain amount of percentage of your page, because then you know that they're more interested in your content and they're not just seeing it right there and then the second they appear on your site. You can even put an exit pop-up that appear right before they will exit out of your website, before they leave, when they're done consuming your content. You should also put these forms on the bottom of your websites, all your pages. So by the time if they read your content, they're more than interested in you and your brand, it's a higher probability that they'll sign up for your newsletter. You can also use something called a landing page and insert your form on a landing page. So landing page is very simple. It just has one purpose, it communicates one value, and it has one action and one goal. And that is, if you want this, register here. So because social media do not have the option of creating these forms, you then need to drive your traffic over from social media over to these forms so they can register there. This is easily done through landing pages. Because sometimes if you move them over to your website, it's very easy for them to get lost in all of your content and the probability of them signing up for something is less. By getting them over to one landing page with one purpose, one value, one goal, you then have a higher probability of them actually also making an action and registering. Step number 4, use lead magnets. So what's lead magnets? Well, technically, an email subscriber is a lead. In sales language, a lead is the first step to a sale. So to get more leads, you put up these magnets to attract more leads. So this is what lead magnets are. So what does this look like in your world? So you need to give them a reason to input their information, an incentive. So think of what can you give in exchange for their email. I create these freebies every week that I give away to my followers on my social media channels, where I move them over to my landing page and I give them something that I've created, a free PDF or some resource material for free in exchange for their email address. So you can then do these weekly activities and give away free stuff every week and then grow your email list more aggressively every week as well. Remember, if you get them over to your email list, you have a direct communication with them. Your email will appear in their inbox. If you post something on Instagram, there's a lower chance that someone will see your content. So think creatively around what lead magnets that you can create. What incentives can you do? What weekly things can you do? Where you just give value or access to you. Maybe they can join in through a Zoom session on your next studio session. You can have 50 people join in on that. That's a great incentive to get somebody to register. Think creatively here and test it out. Step number 5, experiment with lists. So every email service have the option of splitting your subscribers into these different lists. So I want you to start experimenting with these lists, because the more specific you can get with lists, the better the communication can be. So for example, you can create lists based on location. So if somebody has purchased a ticket to your show in a certain location, you can then put them in that location list. So whenever you come back to that area, you can then share very specific and targeted emails. So the more specific you can get with your email communication to your specific lists, the more value they're going to feel that they're getting. Because if they don't feel that the information that you share is relevant for them, they will unsubscribe. So of course, playing around with lists can get quite complicated. So I want you to start with just one simple list. Gather them all in one list and then start testing and playing around with it. So email marketing is most likely something new for you to try. So your learning curve is going to be quite steep. So don't overcomplicate it in the beginning. Try it out, test it, and learn in the process. And what's cool is that each list and forms and email that you send out, they all have access to pretty deep analytics, where you can then see who opened your email, who clicked through, how many clicked through, how many unsubscribed. So you can really evaluate your content and also then your email list as well. Step number 6, use automated emails. So when a subscriber has subscribed to your mailing list, the first email they will receive is a welcome email. So the biggest mistake I see people are doing is just using the static welcome email that MailChimp has. So this is the first email someone will receive from your brand. It's one of the most important emails that you should create right away. This should be personalized. They should be a first good impression. Doesn't have to be long, but you should also then certainly include a call to action, because if they subscribe to you and your email list, they're hot leads, they're interested in your brand and your music. Then guide them to the next step. Where do you want to take them? To your YouTube maybe, to your Spotify, to your SoundCloud, to your newest album, to your newest single. Use the opportunity of the welcome email to showcase more of your identity and your personality. So the welcome email is actually the first step into email marketing automation. So when you start digging deeper into the automation part of email marketing, the opportunities are endless. You can, for example, create and automate and set up a launch schedule for the first 7 emails that you want a subscriber to get over a time period. You can even go as deep as sending out an automated email to a subscriber's birthday, that is if you have that information, where they receive a personal note from you. This can all be done through email marketing automation. So the opportunities are endless here, but start small. And the first step is the welcome email. Step number 7, what do you actually share? That's the biggest question, right? So you have them subscribe to your email list. Now what? Well, the same concept of the 80-20 rule goes for email marketing as well, where 80% of the content should just share value and 20% you can sell. Everyone is using email marketing only for the 20%. This is my next tour coming. Buy a ticket to my show, my merch, my product. If you're only selling, you're only going to get unsubscribers and it's not inspiring. So you need to create some content that you can share on a consistently basis, whether it's every week or every month, that only shares value. And with the goal of just engaging and getting to know your fans and them getting to know you. So this could be as simple as a personal note, weekly or monthly from you, where you share a little bit about your process. It could be producer tips. It could be songwriting tips. It could be a conversation piece around current affair or pop culture. If you created a cool playlist or a YouTube video, use the opportunity of sending out an email to your super fans, letting them know about it before everyone else maybe. Give them a reason and a value to get them to click over to your video or to your streaming site. Every week I send out a simple email to my list. If I made a video on, for example, YouTube about a specific subject, I then maybe briefly describe the problem or the subject and then guide them quickly over to my YouTube. Because I have directly access to their inbox, and this is where my superfans hangs out, my opening rate there are way higher than, for example, Instagram. And I'm not selling anything. I'm just sharing value. The key to good email marketing is to really get as personal as you can, almost right as you speak. This is a direct entrance and access to you. So they should almost hear you speak when you write these emails. You can also share the process of the projects that you're working on, perhaps. Remember, these people are interested in you. They want the behind-the-scenes material and the content as well. So when it comes to the subject line, this needs to summarize the whole email in brief, in really short, to the point. And what usually helps as well is to include maybe an emoji at the ending, some personality as well. The subject line is really important in getting people to opening your email. So you need to test around some formats. And there's so much resources online as well of how to write good subject lines. I'll probably create another video just on that as well. Comment if you think that's a good content idea for me. So let's say you have an idea and maybe you want some feedback on it. Use email as a way to share that idea and ask for feedback. I get personal answers on my email blasts all the time. And I answer them. This is a great way of building trust and getting to know your audience as well. By including them in the process, they feel important. They also feel a part of the journey. This is what's going to build trust and loyalty, and you will create super fans out of it. So there's so many ideas and so much that you can do with email marketing, but you just need, the first step is to just get started. Just trying and testing it out. Like with any other service or channel or social media, you need to start somewhere and start simple and start small. Don't overcomplicate things. So there you have it. These are the first steps to get started with email marketing for musicians. Number 1, have a purpose and a goal with email marketing. Number 2, sign up for an email marketing service. Number 3, create some forms and insert them into your website and your social media channels. Number 4, use lead magnets, create incentives, right? Number 5, experiment with lists. Number 6, create a good welcome email and start looking into email automation. And number 7, create some value through email, not just sell. So after experimenting now with some content ideas through email and also using the email programs out there, you will then start learning the process and it will get easier. So start very simple now and start experimenting with some content, with some email content, and share it with your early email subscribers and then continue growing that list and test, because eventually you'll find the right recipe with your email marketing as well. And you have to invest in learning these email marketing softwares, and they're quite simple now, but you just have to start using them because the investment is well worth your time. Because if you can get many people subscribed to your email list, you have a direct and personal communication with them. And remember, email marketing is far more effective in triggering action and sales than, for example, social media. So if you like what you saw here today, go ahead and subscribe to my channel. Have fun!